Another day in the NBA here, and this time it's personal. I don't know why I said that, but it's the same process we're always going to do here. So we get ready for the NBA. We're going to dig in and compare my projections to one of the industry leaders out there, our friends over at Stokastic. We'll see what they think about things. We'll see what my freshly updated projections reflecting the various guys getting ruled out. We'll see what they think about it. Of course, we'll go top plays, top value plays. We'll even go game by game to get a read on every single game and what the matchup advantages are. We also will run a sim without my interference. Hopefully, Stokastic will update by then. By in this video, guys, you'll know the must plays for today's November 24th NBA slate. Let's get into it here. Hope it was a good weekend for you guys. I had a really good NBA slate on Saturday. I feel like it's been a good run here. Ryan Rollins is on today's slate, our boy who hit so well last week. So how could things go wrong? We'll find out. We also got another Nikola Jokic, incredibly expensive salary today's slate. So things are looking fun for this one. Hopefully, you guys are ready for the world of NBA, NFL, and NBA going on today. I'm playing them both. I am doing some 20 maxes across both, some of the large field tournaments across both. We'll see how that goes. It's always good times. Shout out to the chats. We got splash plays is the best. Yeah, my splash plays are the best. Splash play itself is the best. I hope so. Using my brother as a cover photo, I could tell you one thing that Denny Avdia and I disagree on, and it's probably genocide related. But that said, yeah, Denny Avdia going to be an interesting play on today's slate. Very highly owned play, perhaps. And I'll just click the other chats. So we got Headhunter here. Everybody calling me Chris. I feel like Spags is the more common. A lot of Chris's in the chat today. But shout out to all you guys watching live. And after the fact, I appreciate you guys being here, especially when it is an NFL Monday. And of course, the work continues on this week. No NBA on Thursday, no me on Thursday, but the plan Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday here on the channel. So even though it is Thanksgiving week, stay tuned. And sorry, Steven. I think I know you might be on the obvious side. So, well, but that is what, hey, we got to believe what we believe in, right? Top plays of the day. Nikola Jokic, number one. There we go. We got the Spags in. Top plays of the day. Nikola Jokic at number one, 13.5 salary. 70.5 projection is where I am at. Now, in addition to having Christian Brown out, all right, I appreciate you, Steven. Look, people conflate the anti-genocide thing with the other anti thing. And, I don't want that. I want you guys to know I love you all out there. Just let's not take certain regions, Nikola Jokic, 70.5 fantasy points here. Let's get back on track before I lose the channel entirely. I think for Nikola Jokic, the big thing that stands out, really not getting him in the sim at all. 10% ownership, fields at 5.5. For Nikola Jokic, really the big thing is that salary is hard to hit. We should have some more value opening up. Really, Cleveland ruling guys out left and right. I don't think it'd be a shocker if you did see Mitchell and Mobley sit. That said, for Mitchell and Mobley, two guys that project better because of not having kind of a surprise. No DeAndre Hunter today, no Garland today. Jalen Tyson probably to get endless minutes. Dean Wade's also questionable, but they are losing a lot of the wing players / secondary pieces, and Garland a high usage piece. No Jared Allen again as well. So for how that's the situations like that look. If we get more value opening up, maybe it's easier to get to Jokic. But Jokic, the projection's incredibly high. That said, it's hard to get to him. So 5% for the field. I'm at 10. Really, to me, same thing applies whenever Jokic is on a slate. You know what the upside is. People aren't playing him. I think it's worth trying to get more than the field, but it is hard to afford Jokic on the slate. So for right now, you're not getting a lot, and it seems like the field won't be getting a lot either. Donovan Mitchell. So again, Stokastic is not updated yet for Cleveland guys being out. That said, Donovan Mitchell at only 14% heading into. I think they already had Garland out of the data set. No Sam Merrill because he was out anyway. But they've not added DeAndre Hunter to the list. There's one more guy who got ruled out that I think is still in the projection set. For Mitchell, though, the big thing is that a shorthanded Cleveland team, in a competitive spot still, facing Toronto today seems like the kind of situation for Donovan Mitchell where the upside can get pretty high. At 14% for the field, getting 2x a field feels pretty good to me. That said, if the ownership comes up a good amount overall, I think for Donovan Mitchell, you are running into a spot where I don't love him as mega chalk for sure. Craig Porter Jr. wasn't in the data either, but he did get ruled out as well. I feel like there was one other guy that I'm missing, but anyway, it doesn't matter. Hunter getting ruled out is a big one that does add some usage to both Mobley and Mitchell at this point. For Mitchell, really, that's the biggest thing is you're taking a guy in Hunter who's had about a 25% usage rate on the year. Technically has had more usage than Evan Mobley on the year. That helps both those guys out pretty meaningfully. And you have a competitive game with a not bad 234.5 combined total between Cleveland and Toronto. So no issue with Mitchell being a play that gets more popular today. I do think, though, if he's like 50% owned, it's not going to look as good. Jared Allen is also out, but he was also not in the data. Again, don't try to dig into my brain to figure it out because I might just be imagining somebody else. But Dean Wade being a Q tag is probably what I'm thinking about because Wade is definitely in the data set right now. He's downgraded. Him not playing really has a meaningful impact. Not so much on Mitchell and Mobley. Those guys will look good no matter what. But Dean Wade being in matters a lot for how you perceive Larry Nance, how you perceive Tomlin, Naquan Tomlin, how you perceive Jalen Tyson, because Dean Wade being out just means that there's more minutes to go around for those secondary pieces. It also can mean that they play Chris Livingston a lot more today, but he hasn't played a whole lot yet. Alpert and Şengün, late slate play, 9,700. You have no Kevin Durant in for the next two games. Personal issues for him, whatever that means. For Şengün, 9,700, though, does stand to gain some usage, obviously, with Durant out on the year. Without Durant, Şengün has put up 28.4% usage, 35% assist rate, rebound rate stays steady at 15%, nothing changing there. But basically, more possessions to go around for Şengün. If you are using my projections today for the FanDuel slate, you'll get Reed Shepherd coming up a little bit more. His minutes get more secure. His usage, his assist upside goes up as well with no Durant. But now with Durant, Tari Easton's still out as well for Houston. Şengün looks better, but it is not a main slate DK play. So mostly if you're playing the late slate, Şengün looks great. If you're playing FanDuel, I presume as well, Şengün looks good there. Ryan Rollins, the big stand again, 81% here, Fields at 24. Rollins, it was a struggle last game for him to get where he needed to go. He did play into a semi-blowout for Milwaukee. Real fast, we can look at the popcorn machine because I think it's important we're making the Ryan Rollins case. I know certain people in the community / not really in the community, certain bypassers on YouTube get really worked up when my projection is so different here as it is for Ryan Rollins. It's a 49.2 projection. Stokastic 42.5. That has been the case the last two slates because of Giannis being out. Adds a ton of upside into what the role is for Ryan Rollins, really. The last game here, you can see we got a Portis, Rollins, Kuzma, AJ Green, Miles Turner start. Rollins did nothing in this first stint, missed a few shots. Bobby Portis took a ton of possessions away. But as the game went on, Ryan Rollins kept playing overall, lost a few minutes to Cole Anthony, a little bit earlier than I would have thought in the third quarter. But he came back in, played late in the third, played the entire fourth, got a ton of shots up. Now he is facing a worse Portland defense today than he did face versus Philadelphia over the weekend. And Rollins still got 24 real life points, 12 peripherals. I feel like he missed 100 fucking shots in that game. But I can't see that here. Hold on. Bucks, box score. Just because I do like to... Also Pistons, sorry, not Sixers. Pistons is what he played on Saturday. He got up... Give me the fucking full box score. I need field goals. Why will it not... I don't care about the plus minus, guys. We're getting stuck down a rabbit hole here. But I need to get this right because I feel like he put up like 25 shots in the game again. Stats, here we go. We're going to get to the bottom of this Ryan Rollins and how many shots he put up. Some of the chats probably got it already before I'm going to get here. Yeah, 21 shots again. There's fucking, you got me. Absolute power wins. 9 for 21, though. Bad shooting day. Kept getting after it. Still got 7 assists in that game. Still got 5 rebounds. Added a steal and 2 blocks. This is why Ryan Rollins comes up a lot for me, is that he's shot now 20 more than 20 shot attempts in the last 3 games. He's also had overall with Giannis off the court this year, and Kevin Porter Jr. too, a 31% usage rate. Rollins at 8K, Stokastic's projection, you could see boosted up. If you played Saturday's slate, they had him at like 37 and change. They had him a little bit lower, reflecting the Rollins role before, Giannis going out this year. Rollins is a player that, as I've said the last couple slates, including on Saturday on Stokastic streams, he is just like a legit NBA player now. He's not one of these, secondary options that you get a start from, and it's like, oh, maybe he'll get some usage, or maybe he'll just stand there and watch Kuzma and Miles Turner shoot. He is like the offense for the Bucks right now when Giannis is out. And Portland is not a very good defense overall. On the year, they're giving up about 118 points per 100 possessions. Actually, no, that's Milwaukee. They're giving up 119 points per 100 possessions. So a spot today with Portland, Milwaukee, where you have 2 defenses that do not defend very well. You have Rollins taking a ton of usage in a spot where people will be playing a lot of Avdi on the other side. I am big on Ryan Rollins again. The field's at 24% ownership, but I'm getting him at 81. So Rollins has been a stand for me last couple slates. A lot of you guys tailed it, I believe, on the Thursday slate last week. Paid off pretty well. Saturday was a little more of a harrowing situation, but I really think if he actually hits his shots, and in particular knocks down a few threes, like he can put up 55 pretty comfortably right now with what the role is for Ryan Rollins. So 8K salary, I'll be there a lot. Certainly feels like one of those plays though that people will critique and, whatever. But for me, the projection's really high at 49 fantasy points. Stokastic at 42.5. Cade Cunningham, and I spent more time on that because I really want to explain, like, when my numbers do look different, like, there is usually a reason for it. But really, in particular, it's just the difference that Stokastic is giving Rollins, like, a longer-term role where he has gone from being secondary piece to, I mean, honestly, like, tertiary, what would be four? Quadriary? I don't know. He was, like, the fourth option on the Bucks before. Now he's, like, their number one option, and he gets more usage up and more assist upside than Kuzma, than Portis, than Turner, and it's, like, by gaps. So... Rollins, that is the case for him today. Cade Cunningham, getting Jaden Ivey back in, getting Tobias Harris back in. Hard for me to play Cade at this point. Detroit, some trade rumors floating around that they might be interested in Lowry Markkanen. But, Asar Thompson on the team for now. And if Markkanen comes in, that's also going to hurt Cade's usage. But really, the team is rounding into full health. I also have Jalen Duren projected pretty much dead even with Cade, given the fact these guys are scoring basically the same amount per 100 possessions. I've talked about this entire year. Cade can always spike a meaningful ceiling. Fields at 6%. I'm at 0 flat. He doesn't project well enough for me to get any of him. Certainly, though, if he hits that upside on a slate where, Donovan Mitchell may be super chalky. Jokic, I don't think gets owned no matter what. But I think with Mitchell in particular at 9,600, if Cade Cunningham puts up 70 today and Mitchell gives you 50, that wins you tournaments. So I am not getting Cade personally, but I do think he is an interesting tournament option at 6% owned. Towns, 6% as well. I'm at 4. Does gain some upside overall because of having Anunoby out. I've got Towns 1.1 fantasy points higher than Stokastic does. But really for the Knicks at this spot, would need to see Mitchell Robinson be out, I think, to feel good about it. And I believe he's a Q tag right now. I think if you get Mitchell Robinson out, the situation looks good enough for Towns that he would start to get into more lineups for me. But as it is right now, another tournament play, he and Cade really mostly unknown at about 6% each. Josh Giddey, Bulls getting healthier here overall with getting Kobe White in. That said, the late downgrade, as I think somebody in the chat had pointed out for Vucevic. Yeah, Q-tag, Vucevic. If Vucevic doesn't play, you have more upside for Giddey, more usage, more assists, more rebounds to go around, higher chance of getting the triple-double for Giddey that he got also over the weekend. Playing New Orleans as well, one of the worst defenses in basketball, so... Right now, Giddey not coming up for me. If you get Vucevic out, though, I think Giddey looks really good. And also, I mean, unrelated, more important when we go game by game. If you get Vucevic out, that means you're getting Jalen Smith. I mean, 25 minutes, maybe, at least. Jalen Smith would be tremendous chalk center like value. I mean, he's not crazy value at 4,300, but he would be like one of the best plays in the slate as well. So really 2 important things to note for Vucevic. Giddey will look better, but also Jalen Smith will be one of the best value options on the slate if he does not play today. Vucevic, that is. Denny Avdia, he's on the thumbnail because it Fields at 29% ownership. I actually didn't have this data this morning, but assumed be one of the highest owned plays in the slate. For Portland, hold up real fast because I want to pull up the injury report. I think this morning we had an injury or a Q tag on Shaden Sharp. I don't know if that's the case right now. I just want to confirm that. There was a ton of injuries before the show. Yeah, Portland's injury report has not been submitted yet, so we need to know that. I'm just pulling up the injury report to show it has, in fact, not gotten submitted yet. If we get Shaden Sharp out, Avdia worth whatever ownership that's available. Shaden Sharp has put up a 38% usage rate this year, and you take Drew Holiday off the court, so he has been gunning. But Sharp in the data set to me, and he didn't play last game for Portland, I believe. If Sharp is out, Avdia worth all the ownership. If Sharp is in, I think Sharp's a much more compelling play at less ownership than Denny Avdia. Avdia's pretty expensive at 9,300. Projection looks good enough at 45, but I think we need one more high usage guy to be out for me to feel like Avdia is one of those smash plays. And right now it's a ton of ownership. If I had to guess, Mitchell comes up, Avdia comes down. But if Shaden Sharp is out, Mitchell a great play, Avdia a great play. And I think that duo will be pretty highly owned. So important news item we need to know for Portland. They don't have an injury report out yet. But if you get Shaden Sharp out, boost Avdia. Right now, though, I am low on Avdia, getting only 9%, field at 29. And Mitchell being better, too, is definitely not going to help that. Jalen Duren, $7,900 salary for me. Fields at 15%. I'm getting 36. I think he's getting a pretty noteworthy matchup boost in my data because of going against Indiana, a team that is really egregiously bad right now at center, giving up a ton of rebounds, shots at the rim, stuff like that. But basically, for Jalen Duren, $7,900 salary. My projection is about 4.5 fantasy points higher than Stokastic. I think 15% looks light. I'm getting him at 36% ownership right now. In my top 150, that might be a little bit too high for how you guys want to play him. But I think Duren, to me, worth more exposure. Not quite as big of a stand for me as Ryan Rollins, but Duren's been great this year. Again, putting up 34 points per 100. Cade's at 35.9. The rebounding upside against a shitty Indiana team that is so bad at shooting. 41% field goal rate from the floor right now for Indiana, I think is the worst. I mean, it's the worst on the slate. Might be the worst in basketball. 31% from three as well. Like comically bad to the level that they should at some point get hot because they're playing so terribly. But, for Jalen Duren, these are all good things because he can get really easy double-double no matter what, and he's hitting those every game anyway. But shots at the rim should be easy. Detroit probably going to face Jay Huff a good amount lately because Indiana keeps falling from behind, playing Jay Huff a good amount. That means that Duren will be left alone at the rim. And the other game, too, for Detroit over the weekend, they played Duren late in that game, even though the game was totally out of hand. So Duren getting fourth quarter run, unless the game is a massive blowout, seems pretty likely. So I like Duren a good amount here, above the field meaningfully, though my projection is higher. So certainly if you want to meet that in the middle, it's a logical thing to do. Scotty Barnes, no RJ Barrett today, means an increase in opportunity for Scotty Barnes, taking a high usage guy away. Barnes overall with Barrett off the court this year, 31% usage, up from, is that right? Up from 24 normally. It's not the biggest sample size in the world. We won 1,000 possessions. We're not quite there for some of these splits with teams missing one player. Overall, teams, though, are at about 1,000 possessions overall, so the rates are mostly stable on like a team-wide level. That said, for Barnes here, he looks like the best Raptor. I think Pirtle gains a little bit as well, gains some usage, some rebound upside for having Barrett out, but really, Ingram's going to look better. Quickly's going to look better. Barnes is going to look better, but the ownership for me mostly going to Barnes and Pirtle out of that group. But all the Raptors, you're taking now one player who is getting a ton of shots up and replacing him, with Grady Dick, Murray Boyles, whatever you get out there. It's just going to be less usage. So all the Raptors should be a more compelling play to you in terms of tournament upside, but projection-wise, Barnes the big winner with a 45.1 projection for me, 41.6 for Stokastic. And Jalen Brunson, I'm a little bit lower than Stokastic on with 44.8 projected. Stokastic has been 45.1. Brunson, though, a 5x value at 9K. If I had to guess, a lot more ownership is going to go Donovan Mitchell's way with some of the Cavs being ruled out. Brunson in this spot, under-owned, I think, potentially. 13% was what was expected before the show, but that number is going to move pretty substantially if I had to guess. All right, so let's sort by value here. And guys, show some love if you can. Again, I know I get caught up sometimes in the weeds for stuff like the Ryan Rollins projection, but I do the best I can to explain what I'm showing you guys here with my data that I create. So please show some love, hit that like button, subscribe. I am here Monday to Friday at 2 p.m. I mean, not this week because of Thanksgiving, but in general, Monday to Friday at 2 p.m. here, updating my projections 6 days a week as well, Monday to Saturday. So I'm doing the work as best I can for you guys, for myself. NBA has been my most profitable sport over the course of time, and this year it's been pretty good to me as well, especially the last week. So I'm going to keep doing the work here as best I can. Come along for the ride, use the data however you want, use what I'm doing here however you want. But please do help me fight that YouTube algorithm by hitting the like button, subscribing as well, so we keep push this channel really. How high can we fly is what I'm wondering for this channel this NBA season, because you guys have been responding really well to the content. Check out Stokastic too. The only deal they have going is this promo code SPLASH, 15% off. They'll probably have some NFL deals for Thanksgiving, but right now, if you want NBA data, Sims, the expensive stuff, the cheap stuff like their lineup generator tool, or just the data, get it for yourself with 15% off. Link down in the description, and join the channel as well. If you want to support the show, it's $5 to join the basic Squirt Squad, Splash Play family tier, I believe is what it is. But if you want to get my projections and stuff I show you here on screen, join one of the Squirt Squad tiers and do that as well. And it does obviously support the show, and you get my data updated throughout the night as needed. There's a reason I don't have a position column, because I don't need it, and it's my data. and it doesn't matter. It's just another thing that's going to make the sheet more crowded. So that's why. But I don't know. If you want to pay for it, you can put it on yourself, I guess. It's just, I don't need it. Reed Shepard, $5,100 salary. Trying to keep as few data points as possible so people can focus in, because the human brain can only take so many things at once usually. Reed Shepard, it adds no value. That's my explainer. It's a long explainer. That's such an odd question to get for a thing I've been showing on screen for a year and a half. Reed Shepard, 5,100, late slate play, looks really good. High projection for me at 35.8. That said, for Reed Shepard here, not playable on the DK main slate, so it doesn't matter that much. But if you are playing FanDuel, if you are playing the late slate on DraftKings, looks like a good semi-value option, picking up a ton of usage because of Durant not being in and Shepard closing games more reliably lately, not having Eason in, not having Durant in. The pathway to doing that gets a lot easier for him. Naquan Tomlin. So I had to guess on Cleveland minutes because Stokastic had not yet updated for having DeAndre Hunter being added out for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Tomlin, I gave 29.5 minutes. It might be a little bit aggressive. If Dean Wade is out, though, I think the minutes get really secure for Tomlin. He's been a pretty good producer overall on the season. I think it's like at 0.9. 0.95 fantasy points a minute, a little bit of rebounding, usage at 18%. That all should trickle up a little bit more because of not having Hunter in. I actually didn't give him a rate boost for that. But basically for Naquan Tomlin, 3,900, good value play. You'll feel better about him if he starts. But realistically, he and Jalen Tyson might start. At the very least, one of them starts. Whichever one starts is probably going to be one of the better value plays in the slate. Again, this was not reflected in the ownership before the show, so only 1% expected. I've got him at 15. Love Tomlin, cashed well with him 2 slates ago. There you go. Derek Queen. So you get Zion in today. He's not on the injury report, so he should be good to go. Zion has been deferring a lot this year. He's only averaging 1.2 fantasy points a minute. The rates have also not been much higher. He didn't have to play a ton with Jordan Poole, but he's not like getting a ton more usage or rebounds or assists with Poole in. I think Derek Queen's role is stable. 5,800 to me feels too cheap for Derek Queen. With Zion in, it's not like as easy of a play as it would be if Zion were out. But I said it on Saturday on Stokastic's show. Like, I think Derek Queen should be like 7K. Thought that after he's been mega chalk at a few slates, he would be. But that said, he's still at 5,800. So the field's playing at 51%. I think he'll get into a good amount of lineups here. And really, he's facing Chicago. So there's really no inhibitor here. If he's going against, if it is Vucevic, Q-Tag, that's fine for him. If it's Jalen Smith going against him, it's probably an even better matchup for Derek Queen. But Queen assisting at a 22% clip, highest assist rate on the team besides Zion. Rebounding on a 15% clip, higher than everybody on the team besides Kevon Looney, who's barely playing at this point. His usage is as high as anybody on the team besides Fears and Zion. Queen's got a very good role. He plays blowout games as well. So I really have no issue with him being super chalky. That's that. Just something you're okay. So that explains it. Would help me practice build. So, I mean, just pay for the data, FF Doom. It's like, the thing to me is like, anything that gives me more work and changes what I'm doing is not something I'm likely to change at this point. But I appreciate that you would be helped by it. This screen shows things, so you could do it that way. But I'm not here. No disrespect to FF Doom, who's a regular. I'm not here for people that are not paying for the content. Like, I love you, but I'm doing what I'm doing here. If you're paying and you ask me, give me feedback and you want it to change, I'll consider it more, but that's just what it is. But I appreciate the note. Ryan Rollins. There we go. We're good. We're good. I'm glad we're okay. Cause I know I'm coming off as surlier, but I'm baffled. Derek Queen, Ryan Rollins coming up as top values for me, despite high projections. They'll make a lot of lineups for me, certainly for the field's ownership on Queen. It's a lot right now. If better value opens up, I could see Queen coming down, but really DraftKings is just a little bit slow in the uptick for Queen's price tag. It really should be the very least 6K, but I think it should be like 6,500, 7K right now. So you kind of have the middle ground when Zion's in or Zion's out. But I think for Derek Queen, I don't see how you don't play him a good amount today. Ryan Rollins talked enough about. Jalen Duren we talked enough about. Jeremiah Fears has held on to a 26% usage rate despite Zion coming back in. His minutes are still not the best. He really doesn't seem to get to 30 minutes super often. But for Jeremiah Fears, 5,300, he always makes my lineups more than the field. 25% ownership. Fields is what the field's at. I'm at 35. Fears, it's a soft matchup against Chicago. 2 teams here that are not good defensively, and it's a massive pace up for New Orleans, who normally plays pretty slow. Chicago, one of the fastest paced teams in the league. So Fears coming in for me. New Orleans looks good overall. They would look better, though, if Zion weren't in. Jalen Tyson, Fields expected to be playing him at 17% before DeAndre Hunter got ruled out. Now it's getting even more secure for him. I think he's going to be one of the chalkiest plays of the day. I gave him 29.5 minutes. That said, my projection only gets to 24 for him. So he's not, to me, like a must-have play. I think people have gotten some good run out for Jalen Tyson lately, including at 3,100 returning to the lineup the other day. He might be overly chalky in a way that I don't want to be there as much. But really, if he starts, if Tomlin starts, they are two of the best value options on the slate right now. Shout out from Mike with the super chat here. Thanks, Chris. Happy Thanksgiving. Bridges ladder points tonight. Good luck. Mikhail? Yeah, sure. I don't know why that would be the pick today, but I appreciate the super chat, and I hope that works out for you for sure. He definitely gets more opportunity with Anunoby out, but doesn't take a big enough jump for me when you have Brunson and Townsend. But I get it. Jalen Tyson, 37% here is what my ownership would be, again, before stuff updated for Stokastic. So watch the number here. If I had to guess, he might get to like 40 to 50 in Stokastic data when they update. Jay Huff. So Jay Huff is technically your third big playing for Indiana right now. $3,900 salary doesn't feel that good. I think it's going to be too easy to get him in, and I think the minutes are not secure for him. The big thing, and we can go to quickly to Indiana, the popcorn machine, because I think it'll paint the picture better. So Indiana keeps getting their ass kicked, which is like not a crazy surprise here. But you see here, they were down at this point, what? I don't know whether they're down 16. When they're down 16, I got to refresh because popcorn machine won't. I should have switched to tab 2. Basically, they're down 16 here. They bring in Jay Huff. Jay Huff plays a ton of minutes because they're playing from behind. They look like they're digging out, but ultimately Jay Huff doesn't actually make the team better. And I'm like coming from this a little bit from personal bias because I've seen it now play out for Indiana the last few games. Basically, as Indiana keeps playing poorly, Jay Huff keeps getting in because he provides 3-point shooting, which Isaiah Jackson doesn't. Tony Bradley really doesn't. And Bradley's kind of fallen out of favor. He was starting for Indiana for a while. Now he's like playing one rotation, might not get any minutes in the second half kind of stuff. But basically every game, it's like Jackson plays, then you get Tony Bradley coming in a little bit. Then Indiana realizes they're playing terribly. They bring in Jay Huff. He shoots a little bit. Second half, they're getting destroyed. They bring in Jay Huff because he can shoot threes theoretically. He keeps getting minutes, but there's no guarantee that he actually gets you those minutes. So he was going to be a top value before at 32% owned. I was getting him at 56, but he's one of those players to me where like, if he is your chalk value on the slate, trying to play the starters, playing the guys who get a crack at minutes before him is probably a logical move. And certainly you expect Indiana to keep getting destroyed because they're a bad team and they're like getting some guys back in is not helpful. The team just kind of doesn't work right now as it's constructed without Halliburton. If they shoot a little bit better, again, they're one of the worst shooting teams in the league right now. If they just get to like dead average, you don't see Jay Huff play. So if Jay Huff is a value play, which I don't think he will be as much with guys like Tomlin or Tyson opening up a little bit more, play less Jay Huff. If Jay Huff is unowned, take the shot on Jay Huff because there is a logical reason why he keeps playing. But right now, the minutes are kind of high for him, and there's no guarantee he actually plays 23 minutes because Indiana just might not be total dog water one slate. Hoping Tyson bounces back. He was so ass last night. Yeah, I mean, he didn't play the full run of minutes, but you take some bodies out, it's going to help him out a lot. And you're missing really a lot of Cleveland already. BK doubles PG, bottom versus spot up shooters. Okay, Brooklyn doubles point guard. You got to take on it, Mike. I'll give you that. Tyson torpedo to sweet liner for me too. There you go. You got it. Shaden Sharp is out. All right. So Avdia looks a lot better than fuck me. I hate when stuff updates during the show, but I thought he might be. Avdia, upgrade him accordingly. And really Portland at this point. I mean, Grant's going to look good. Comra's going to look good. We can talk about it more when we get to Portland, but yeah, that'll move things around. Tyrese Proctor. Assuming Mitchell plays, I don't think you want to go to Proctor. There's more minutes to go around from him. The issue is like he doesn't play good wing defense, so he loses minutes to Tyson, to Tomlin, to whoever else, to previously to Craig Porter Jr., who actually can defend fairly competently. Proctor will get whatever minutes at this point that Donovan Mitchell doesn't get. But I think Denny one slate. All right, FF Doom, you got me back. I'm going to put in positions just for you now. One slate solution, Denny Avdia. He is definitely a one slate solution today. Tyrese Proctor, minimum salary. If things go weird for Cleveland, there's some worlds where he could pay off, but I got him at 0% before the show. Stokastic has him at 0. Again, he'll look better because having Hunter out. He'll look better because of having Dean Wade out if that happens. But I think for Proctor, having Mitchell in is a big blocker for him because like they don't need him to play basically. Peyton Watson, no Aaron Gordon for Denver makes him look better. Do you think my projection's a little bit high for Watson having the one outlier 50-point game, but he'll get more rebounds, he'll get more usage. The entire offense is going to flow through Jokic and through Jamal Murray. But Watson, Tim Hardaway Jr., Cam Johnson, especially, one of these guys could start to play well and earn a role. Gordon's going to be out for an extended period of time. Brown out an extended period of time. Watson's opportunity is pretty good. Fields at 17. I'm getting 29. Things will move because of all the value opening up. And Jakob Poeltl, 31 fantasy point projection for me, 31.3 for Stokastic. Seems like he's the big rate winner from losing RJ Barrett. Gains more in usage, gains more in rebounding as well. I think for Poeltl, he'll be a less exciting play because of value opening up. That said, decent price tag at 5,600, and certainly, Cleveland much weaker inside for having no Jared Allen. That should be all good for Poeltl. All right, game by game view, guys. And real fast, show some love if you can. Hit the like button, subscribe. I'm sure we're all feeling it. Holidays coming up, but we still got work to do for the NBA, for NFL this week. So show some love. Hit the like button, subscribe here. It goes a long way for me here to fight that YouTube algorithm, so please do that. And, of course, check out Stokastic. If you want to see data updated by one of the best sites in the world that's winning people a lot of money across the NFL and across the NBA, check it out. Of course, I am a mom and pop shop. You want to buy stuff from Walmart as opposed to mom and pop shop? I think that's totally fair. So use Walmart. That's not disparaging, right? Walmart, Costco, whatever you think is a good company, that's Stokastic. Check them out, 15% off, link down below, or use the promo code SPLASH. All right, Detroit, 123 implied. Indiana, 112.5 implied here. I'm going to try to make up some time. Jalen Duren looks good to me. Cade Cunningham does not. We've talked enough about that. Asar Thompson at 5,700 looked like a better play before. A lot of guys got ruled out. I think things are going to change meaningfully with the way data is going to look. So Asar Thompson was getting him a little bit because of what the price tag represented. And small forward not looking that good. But I think with the fact Avi is going to make a lot of lineups, things are really going to move around. Jeremy Grant's going to make more lineups for me. I think a guy like Asar Thompson just looks less appealing than he did before. Indiana, 112.5 implied points. One of the worst shooting teams in basketball. Siakam under league average with 56% true shooting for himself. Benedict Mathurin shooting hot. He will get worse as the season goes on. Nembhard hanging around a little bit under league average. That's fine. But Jarris Walker can't shoot. Ben Shepherd can't shoot. Jay Huff, he's the good three-point shooting big man. He can't shoot at 50% true shooting. TJ McConnell, 53% true shooting. He can't shoot. Jeremiah Robinson Earl, 44% true shooting. He can't shoot. These guys should all shoot closer to 58% and change. That's what league average is, but they're terrible. So that's the issue. And this is true shooting, by the way, not field goal percentage. Really for Indiana, if they ever get hot, they'll smash as a team, or at least one or two guys will smash. But as it is right now, playing a good defense, not a great total for Indiana. I don't see how you'd want a lot of these guys. And Jay Huff, there'll be better values opening up now, even though we just talked about the game theory makes sense for him because Indiana is just terrible every slate. But this is a comically bad team right now. And I it sounds like a joke, but they're really bad, and really bad players eventually find their depth. But this is a catastrophe every slate with how bad these guys are. Built a basketball team that can't shoot hoops. That's true. And that does feel like Indiana should be better. Yeah, they should shoot. Yes, 58.3%, I believe, is average for the year. That's what that looks like. What do I think about props of 19.5 points for PRA for Duren? You can see my PRAs here. I would have Duren higher. I would have Duncan Robinson lower. So that's that. Indy native, let's move on. Look, the thing for Indiana is really at some point they have to start breaking slates because they're shooting so terribly and that can't carry on forever. But the way they'll probably make it up is when you get Indiana versus, Portland versus New Orleans, play Indiana then. But when they're facing good teams, again, there's a reason why they're bad. Cleveland. So I had to update minutes myself, and I'm actually the Stokastic update yet. I really hope they do by the time we get there. They have not updated minutes yet. It's going to make that sim useless. For Cleveland, 118 implied points here. So not a bad total, despite missing a lot of guys. You're taking Hunter off. You're potentially taking Wade off. You're taking Garland off. You're taking Porter Jr. off. They're missing. You don't have Strus. You don't have a lot of rotational guys at this point for Cleveland. So Mitchell and Mobley look good. Their ownership's going to come up. Right now I'm above on them, but Stokastic will update, and then their ownership will come up. Their projection will come up. It's all going to happen that way. Lonzo Ball still feels like a trap to me. The minutes should be there for him a little bit more theoretically. That said, for Lonzo, there isn't really a minute ceiling here. I think you'd rather play Tyson. I think you'd rather play Tomlin, especially if you get Dean Wade out. I think you'd rather play Larry Nance potentially at center than Lonzo. I think Lonzo he's not an IQ test, but he's a trap play It's happened multiple times where like he's shooting guard small forward. He'll project well enough. There's now better values on the slate than him, so I would not play him at this point. He's going to shoot better at some point as well. He's playing like an Indiana Pacer, but really I just don't think the abundance of minutes actually help him out that much. Dean Wade, if he plays, doesn't look that good. If he doesn't play, he'll open up minutes for really a few guys. Luke Travers is one to watch as well. He could be a surprise starter. Earned some more minutes last game, played like 16, I believe. I have him for 20.5 today, but really I want to see a minutes update here. I want to know who's starting. Chris Livingston could also throw a little bit of a wrench in things because of the fact that like he is a guy when Milwaukee had nobody last year, he picked up minutes. He's one of those guys that's like big enough to guard big men, but small enough to kind of defend wings and sometimes bring the ball up. Not a very exciting player, but he might get minutes now. Assuming he's available, which I do think he is. He's available. So he hasn't been in the rotation yet, but he can get in. Hey, shouts to everybody watching here. Appreciate people making friends in the chat or renewing friendships in the chat. Love to see that. Losing Halliburton Turner did a lot of damage for Indianapolis. That's true. I mean, the team is just not built the way they constructed. Since the NBA is moving towards positionless ball at the All-Star game, Spags out of the curve. I put positions in here, guys. It really is one of those things like the sheet here is called simplified projections, but it's mostly that I just want you guys to not see a bunch of shit on the page because like last year, my friend Josh Engelman would do his streams and he would have like his entire sheet. And like, I know people like seeing that, but it's like, it's too much to look at. Even this sheet's like kind of got too much to look at. So I just tried to put less in. That's my real explainer after I got defensive. FF Doom before. Toronto, 116.5 implied. Everybody looks a little bit better because of not having RJ Barrett in, but Ingram doesn't gain enough for me at 7,700. He does put up about a 30% usage rate without Barrett on the court, though, limited sample size this year. So I think Ingram has more upside than I'm getting him right now in ownership, where he is 2x owned by the field than what I'm getting. Do think, though, the Portland stuff and Cleveland stuff is going to make Toronto a little bit less owned. Quickly looks better, but not good enough for me to get there. Only 7% ownership, Fields at 17. I like Barnes. I like Pirtle. I like Jamal Shed. But I think Shed now as a value matters a little bit less because we'll have better value that's opened up. New York, 121 implied here. Nothing coming up meaningfully for me. Our guy Mike loves the Mikal Bridges play, and Mikal Bridges shooting the lights out to start the year at 63% true shooting. Is it Dick season? It's still not Dick season, I don't think. You have to, it would be Dick season if you got all the stars out. At this point for him, he's not cheap enough, and they still have, 3 high usage guys and a center that normally does get a good amount of usage, so I don't see it really. But New York here, I think Brunson a nice tournament play. People are going to flock to Mitchell now with those guys being out. Mitchell Robinson, Q-tag, if he's out. Towns looks better. But as it is right now, nobody really looks like a meaningfully great play. It is a pace down going against Brooklyn, but one of the worst defenses in basketball at all. So really, any of these guys could hit in this little battle of New York. Michael Porter Jr., I think the way that Avdia will project with Shaedon Sharpe out is going to change this a little bit for me. But Porter Jr., one of the guys, kind of like Ryan Rollins, just has projected better for me than the industry, and I've been happily there a lot lately. Porter Jr., I also will say, I feel like just never kills you on a slate, even though the upside is not always crazy there. But I think for Michael Porter Jr., 18% for me, Fields at 12. Both parts of these will come down now because there's just better value opening up. Igor Dioman had a nice game the last time Brooklyn played. A little bit of a contribution in assists and rebounds, what he should provide. But I'm not sure that that's going to hold up. Let me quickly check the popcorn machine. Oh, they played yesterday as well, which I did not play that slate. Yeah, so Dioman played well the game before last, and he sucked yesterday. Put up 5 and 5, did play 28 minutes. That's sort of the issue for Dioman is that you have, Clowney putting up shots, Porter Jr. putting up shots. Claxton also sometimes will start gunning at will, even dribbling the ball up and shit. So for Igor Dioman, the upside's just not there game to game. If Dioman were to be 20% owned, I would be under on that. That said, there's more value opening up. So Dioman, I think, maybe an okay tournament option, but that's that. Yeah, Barnes does have nice rate jumps without Barrett. That is true. Yeah, Porter Jr. really it for me for Brooklyn is really the way that looks. Dioman, I'm not crazy about. Dallas, we still have no AD. Nothing really taking a big jump up here for Dallas for me, though. D'Angelo Russell being available does not help. He does take usage and assist upside, even if his teammates hate him. PJ Washington, I've played on some slates lately, and it's worked out well enough. 21% ownership for the field, though. I think that's going to change when we get some of the better plays opening up now because of guys not available. Brandon Williams, you want to see Russell out to play him, and I have done that with Russell out. With Russell in, I don't think so. Those guys will split 48 minutes for the most part. Klay Thompson, fun with him beefing with John Morant, being a disappointed dad, but I don't think he's a good DFS play at 5K at this point. You get a bunch of dudes out. That's how it looks. And thank you for the super chat, FF Doom. Sorry if I'm upset. It just really threw me off. It's like I've had it the same way for a while, but it's my bad. I do get defensive when people point out things lately because like there have been a lot of trolls. So I apologize to you, FF Doom, as well, but I appreciate the super chat to make up for it. And I will try to see if I can get fucking positions in. There is just usually a reason I do things, and it breaks my brain when somebody's like, well, why don't you do it this way? So that's my bad too. Miami, see, when you give me money, you get the best version of me. That's how it goes. Miami 123 implied. So Miami, I had to guess minutes here because Stokastic had not updated for Wiggins and Powell being out. But Tyler Hero coming in, those guys coming out. I think that's break even for how it looks. Pele Larson should be secured minutes. Jaime Hawk has his upsides a little bit higher for not having Powell and Wiggins in. But really, like, Hero's going to shoot a lot for as much as he plays. And Powell and Wiggins being out, they have enough bodies to fill in. So good total for Miami. Not a great matchup on paper, above average defense. But yeah, I think for Miami here, there's definitely tournament options theoretically. I'm just not getting any of them. It sounded whorish in the best way possible. It is the oldest and best friend. Look, ultimately, I am a whore. I'm a whore that gives you probably too much for free. Like, I think if I were an actual prostitute with what I show you guys here, it'd be like I'm at least giving you tits. I'm at least a stripper on the main stage, I think is what it would be. But I think with seeing my projections here, you're probably not coming, I think is how I would view it. But I think you're getting a lot for free. You're getting to see most of the goods for free. Denver 121 implied here. What will Jokic be owned with the value opening up? Probably still not a lot. People don't want to pay the 13+ K price tag for him, I think. So I like Jokic more because you can afford him, but I don't think the field's going to go nuts about him. I do have a decent projection on Jamal Murray as well. You take Gordon off, you take Brown off. Your biggest winners are Jokic and Murray, even though guys like Watson, Cam Johnson, Tim Hardaway are going to look better. Cam Johnson is just doing nothing. It doesn't matter whether Gordon and Brown are on the court. It doesn't matter if they're off. He's just not shooting. The rates for him with those guys off this year, just real fast, but I do want to give you guys an actual number. So Cam Johnson's putting up 14% usage in about 240 possessions, let's say, 120 minutes with Brown and Aaron Gordon off the court. He gets a little bit more in assists, 13% there, rebounds a little bit, 7.5%. But really for Cam Johnson, he's not looking like old Cam Johnson, even with these guys out. At a certain point, he should start shooting more and get back to some version of what he did in Brooklyn. But it feels like the Brooklyn time / like what he was on Phoenix, he feels like he's broken. Like, I don't know why he's not gunning now when he has the opportunity to do it. But Peyton Watson, to me, looks a little bit better. Both guys getting a ton of minutes, though. So if Watson's ownership holds to 17, I think it wouldn't be crazy to play Cam Johnson. But the projection is not there at all for him because he's just doing absolutely nothing. He's got a massive contract, and he's just like defending like he's a G leaguer, and that's it. It's awful. I'm closer to OnlyFans. Thank you. That's true. At least one worth subscribing. I hope so. I'm not like definitely not one of the OnlyFans girls where like I'm trying to make you like really you never see my tits. Like you see them. You see them when you pay wallet. I'm sorry to the women. We got like actually women in the chat too. So I apologize for the misogyny here. I'm just trying to get to Thanksgiving, guys. Memphis 112.5. I'm losing viewers left, and I can't handle the body humor here on the channel. Memphis 112.5 implied points. Nothing pops up here. Jaren Jackson back in. They all look worse for it. I've been playing the Vince Williams, Aldama, a little bit of Edie, but not really. Lately with Jackson out and Morant out. We still have Morant out, but Jackson in throws it off. Jaren Jackson also not shooting a ton more, not doing a ton more with Morant out. So Memphis, I think on this slate, especially where you have so many options that look good now because the guy's being ruled out, Memphis, like a total stay away. Really not an option you want to get to. Portland, 115 implied points here. Milwaukee, 116.5. Two not good defenses, two pretty decently paced teams. Shaedon Sharpe was in my data set. Would have thought he was like a very good tournament pivot to Denny Avdia. Now it's going to be Avdia. It's going to be Grant. Kamara will gain a little bit, but not enough. Really think it's going to be a chalky Portland team now. Milwaukee has not been a good defense with Giannis. Gets worse without him. I think the total should be higher for this game too, but maybe it's just two shitty teams missing shots. But like Avdia, 61% true shooting. Jeremy Grant, 64. Klingon, a little bit under average, which he shouldn't be because he's gigantic. Kamara, not a good shooter. Caleb Love off the bench, also just chuck a little bit. You got options here. I think they'll be able to hit their shots today. But Avdia and Grant, I think, your key options for sure. Shout out Tiffany here. I'm glad we did not scare at least one woman away for showing some goods. Thank you. We have turned the patriarchy over its head. But thank you for the super chat, Tiffany. I appreciate it a bunch. Thanks for being here. When I say that from the beginning, I try to keep it real here. Milwaukee, 116.5. I'm just a whore that gives too much away for free. That's what we've learned today. Milwaukee, 116.5 implied points. Rollins, awesome play to me. He is gunning, getting a ton of assist upside, and still holding steady at 61% true shooting. He will not be as efficient of a shooter because he's not shooting with Giannis taking a ton of attention away game to game right now. But facing Portland's going to help that out a lot. They're giving up 119 points per 100. I think for Rollins, I don't know why other sites aren't higher on him, but Stokastic now giving him some respect. He's better than a 5x value. Rollins, a smash play for me today. I imagine I'll have a good amount of lineups say that include Avdia, Rollins, maybe Jeremy Grant. But I love this game environment here. I think you can game stack it and feel pretty good about it. Chicago, 125.5 implied. New Orleans, 120 implied here. Not getting a lot of Chicago. Need Vucevic to be out, I think, for that to change. If Vucevic is out, Jalen Smith is still one of the best values in the slate. Doesn't matter what Cleveland has. Doesn't matter what Portland has. It is absolutely 100% Jalen Smith. And I think, if not a lock button play, pretty close to it. Averaging 1.3 fantasy points a minute. He's the kind of guy that I was hoping Vucevic would be on the slate on Friday or whatever it was. Giddy, I would love to see Kobe White out, but these guys are all great tournament options, and Vucevic being out will make them come in more. But Kobe White's been playing about a 1.3 fantasy point minute pace. Giddy at 1.4. It is a soft matchup against New Orleans. A little bit of a pace down, but shitty defense. So if Vucevic is out, you'll get more of those guys. As it is right now, I think they're good tournament plays. New Orleans on their side, it's a lot of Derek Queen. This might get affected by some of the value opening up. I think if you got Vucevic opening up in particular, or Vucevic out rather, and Jalen Smith opening up, I think that would hurt Queen's ownership meaningfully. But Queen's playing well, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, not giving up a ton of usage to Zion so far, which is a little bit of a surprise to me. Which good for Zion, by the way, that he's not like impeding the growth of the young guys around him. But Fears and Queen holding steady. Trey Murphy still brings upside if he actually gets shots up at only 22% usage on the year. But really, I like New Orleans conceptually. I think that they're going to lose some ownership from better value opening up. And in the late slate here, got Houston. Not a great matchup on paper against Phoenix. Phoenix technically a better defense on paper right now than Houston is, giving up 113.4 points per 100 possessions. Houston giving up 113.8. But because you do have Eason out, because you have Durant out, really you want to get to these guys here. My Shepherd projection's a little bit high, I think, but his rates go up massively from having Durant off the court. So late slate, Houston looks great to me. Phoenix, nothing standing out meaningfully here. I don't think we have the injury report for Phoenix. Mark Williams assumed out tonight. And Minnesota, nothing popping meaningfully for me here. Jaden McDaniels always looks pretty decent as a tournament option. Sacramento, nothing too exciting. Utah, nothing. Golden State, good total. Nothing looks that great for the price tags they're out, even with Kuminga unavailable. Kuminga apparently going to be out for a while. He also apparently wants the trade to happen now, even though I don't believe he can get traded yet. So Golden State, bit of a mess of a team right now, but does get cleaner for Curry and Butler at their price tags. I guess Pajemski too. All right, did Stokastic update? They didn't. I'm still going to run a sim on Stokastic here, even though I don't think this is going to be a ton of value for you guys because the slate is now entirely different. But we have a process here, so let's go over to Stokastic. We'll build 5,000 lineups here and have them compete 10,000 times. The slate looks entirely different from the last time their data updated at 940. I did the best I could updating my end here, guys, but we'll run it here. But guys, check out Stokastic when you do want to see this. It maybe makes the sales pitch better. When you want to see updates on Stokastic, when they update later on today, check it out. Promo code SPLASH, 15% off. You will see that update for yourself. Get all the cheap stuff. All the cheap stuff, all the expensive stuff. It's all 15% off the promo code SPLASH. And shout out to you guys that sign up for shit like the max access, all avatar, or all access with an avatar things, because there are a few of you guys that do that. And if you're not one of those people, sign up for every sport and use the promo code SPLASH. But it does get you 15% off no matter what package you're on. Even when they have a deal, you still get 15% off. So check it out. Link down below. Promo code SPLASH. Half the money you pay to them comes back to me, and I love it when you do it. And if you want to get my projections updated as well, join down below. Squirt Squad tiers will get you the various screens you see here, whether it is my exportable projections or the matchup screen. So check it out here. Join down below. Join on desktop if you can, though, because iOS will charge you extra VIG. I'm happy to take your money however I get it, but, you know, for your guys' sake, try not to join on iOS because iOS rips off the providers. Your top ROI lineups before everything changed on this slate. We'll get a read on what this looks like. We got Ryan Rollins, number 1 ROI lineup. Jaden Ivey, Naquan Tomlin, Denny Avdia was make it. He's only going to look better with Shaden Sharp out. Daniel Gafford, Jeremiah Fears, Zion, Derek Queen. A lot of Pelicans in this one. They'll still be good tournament options for sure. But I think you're going to get, I mean, Tomlin, Stokastic thought he was like a low-owned piece at this point. This lineup is only going to look better, I think, with the updates we've had. Igor Dioman, Donovan Mitchell at number 2, Lonzo Ball, Evan Mobley. The Cavs parts, the projections will only look better as well because Hunter's still in the data set. Jakob Poeltl, Ryan Rollins makes it again. Jay Huff makes it. Derek Queen makes it. Igor Dioman, Jay Huff are the ones I think most affected by the better value opening up, but that lineup might still be a positive ROI if I had to guess. Number 3, Donovan Mitchell again, Brandon Ingram, Masar Thompson, Jay Huff, Isaiah Jackson, Igor Dioman, Denny Avdia, Jakob Poeltl. Another bunch of players here where Mitchell will look better. Ingram and Poeltl, we already have Barrett out, so those guys will still be compelling ROI plays in Stokastic data. Isaiah Jackson, you don't probably need to leverage on Jay Huff as much, but I think the lineup would still be valid. Number 4, you have TJ McConnell, Donovan Mitchell, and again, this is before all the guys getting ruled out around 130 or later, so keep that in mind. TJ McConnell, Donovan Mitchell, Jalen Tyson, Jay Huff, Daniel Gafford, Ryan Rollins, Denny Avdia, Derek Queen. So more ownership coming for sure from Mitchell and Jalen Tyson. Jay Huff, probably a less good value play, but everything else here holding steady. And the lineup, I think, would still be one that it would like, the sim would like. Number 5, Igor Dioman, D'Angelo Russell, Jalen Tyson, Jay Huff, Jakob Poeltl, Jeremiah Fears, Zion Williamson, and Nikola Jokic here. So Jokic makes one at a point where they didn't think there was great value on the slate. So I wonder how much Jokic will be in here. Overall, highest ROI players before the various updates that are going to come. Asar Thompson, Jaden Ivey, Jakob Poeltl, Naquan Tomlin, who will definitely be a more popular play with DeAndre Hunter out. Donovan Mitchell as well. He'll be more popular too. I'm speed running through this, guys, because the data is going to be completely different. Watch the Stokastic Live Before Lock show later today, or deeper dive as well. If you want to see how that updates, of course, run the sim yourself too if you can. Derek Queen, 78% exposure, fields at 49. I think he will still be a popular lineup play. Really think the one thing that would impact him would be Vucevic getting ruled out. If Vucevic is out, Jalen Smith will be like the chalk value of the day. But I think even with value opening up, you'll still get Derek Queen a good amount. A good matchup against Chicago, and Zion, for as much as that holds up, has been deferring to Queen more than I would have ever thought possible. Jay Huff is in 62% of these top 150 lineups, fields at 33. I think both those numbers come down meaningfully because there is now more reliable value as opposed to the third string center for Indiana that keeps playing because they get blown out every game. Zion, 45% exposure, field at 26. I think Avdia's ownership coming up is going to make the Zion ownership stay in check. But Zion, obviously, big tournament upside. And if he does really start hogging the ball and stuff, like, he would hurt Fear's ownership. He would hurt Queen's ownership. So I think there is some game theory in playing Zion. Number 4, Jakob Poeltl in 44% of these lineups, fields at 16. Think that'll come down a little bit. Think that would come down a lot if you got Jalen Smith value opening up if Vucevic doesn't play. But Poeltl, I think a good play as it is. No Jared Allen. Like, the center options are much worse. Mobley will play center and he's good, but he's not like a, keeping a guy like Poeltl off the boards kind of center. And Ryan Rollins was in 44% of these lineups, fields at 26. I love Ryan Rollins. I don't know how the ownership's going to be affected by him here. But I'll run stuff if I see an update for Stokastic before I get into the NFL mode. And I'll drop it in the Discord if we see that come up. Yeah, Queen gives up no usage. He doesn't give a fuck. I agree. I love Queen, man. He is, which is what true star players in the NBA are, is like, they have no fear about another guy coming in. That's how it goes. If I play anyone from Indiana, it's going to be Huff. I get it. I think that Huff's ownership will come down. And there is something too to like playing the guy who looked like a good value before, all the other, late value opens up as lineups get ruled out and all that. But I do think it's tough for me. Like, I did not like Huff as a chalk option when it looked like that'd be the case this morning, because of the fact that, like, really, like, he's going to play behind Jackson and Bradley. That's, you need a 2-leg parlay for him to get the big minutes. And obviously Indiana sucks every game. So like, he gets out there more than enough to shoot some threes, but like, all it takes is them just not getting their ass kicked or one of the other centers playing better, and you get less J Huff. Highest leverage plays, again, before all the updates will hit. J Huff, 29% more in the field. Derek Queen, 29% more in the field. Pirtle, 28% more in the field. Donovan Mitchell, 24% more. So that ownership will come up, and I imagine the exposure will also come up. And Zion Williamson, you're getting 19% more in the field. Think these numbers will both come down, but Zion is a tournament option, I think, pretty appealing. Avia is going to be the mega chalk now. Negative leverage here. We got PJ Washington, negative 15% leverage on him. I think he's a total non-factor on the slate now. Quickly, negative 15% leverage. Still a good tournament option, but I'm not crazy about him either. Jalen Smith, if Vucevic is in, no thank you. If Vucevic is out, yes to Jalen Smith. Nearly a lock button play to me. Scotty Barnes, not getting played a lot here. He's my favorite Raptor with Barrett out, but definitely at power forward, obviously going to be a higher priority. And Brandon Williams, negative 8% leverage. If you get Russell in, it's just not the same situation for Brandon Williams, and he's now priced for a couple games where the minutes look better, so I get that. Let's see. You like Trey Murphy? Trey Murphy always has the upside. When you have a ton of ownership going to Queen, and really it's true of any DFS and situation, but for the Pelicans in particular, where Queen gonna be really owned, Fear's gonna be really owned. All it takes is Murphy and Zion shooting like the guys like they're paid to be. And those guys fail at their projection, then like Queen and Fears would miss their projection most likely. You could maybe get an outlier day for Zion and Murphy. That's always a logical thing to do, I think, when you see the ownership. I'm not going to do a single lineup sim today, guys, because I think we spent enough time today. And again, the data is outdated anyway. But stay tuned for updates later today. Again, if you want to see Stokastic's updates, join down below. Use that promo code SPLASH over at Stokastic. 15% off. You guys know the deal. It does go a long way for me here. Just one dude showing you my gambling. If you guys check them out and sign up, because half the money you pay to Stokastic comes back to me. So check my projection. That's a great way to do things too. But if you want to get the professional ones, I get it. Use Stokastic's great Sims tools, great data, all that stuff available for you at 15% off with the promo code SPLASH. Of course, join the channel as well. $5 if you just want to support the show. But also if you want to get my projections, join the Squirt Squad tiers. You get either the matchup screen updated throughout the night as anything changes, my exportable projections as well in the VIP tier. But 2 ways to get access there. And even if you don't join the Discord, you get the stuff through the YouTube community tab as well. So many ways to get access to my info here, even though it's not as simple as joining Stokastic. I admit that. Splash plays for the day. Okay, so we've had a lot move over the course of a show. If you're playing the late slate, Reed Shepherd, I'm going to say that because he is my top value overall, but like a wide margin. For the main slate, I think it would still be Derek Queen, would still be Ryan Rollins. Avia, I don't know how I'm going to avoid him now. He's going to be mega chalky, but he will be as well projected for me as any of these guys we've talked about. Tomlin, I think, would be one. Tyson would also be one. If only one of them starts, downgrade the other, I think, but that's fine. Jalen Duren would still be one for me. There's a lot of good plays in the slate now, guys. I got to be real with you. Jeremy Grant's going to look like one, I think, in the data, though I'm not as confident in that. And again, if Vucevic is out, Jalen Smith, just lock him. That's it. Just do it that way. But I think that's it for me. I hope that adds some value, guys. Get a lot of stuff moving here, so please pay attention to my data as it updates. Check out Stokastic later today as well. I will be on the Live Before Lock show for NFL today if you want to see that. If you also want my takes on the Splash Play Pod NFL channel, you can get that for Monday Night Football as well. But I appreciate you guys being here. Really appreciate the kind words. Appreciate even guys who I'm berating in the chat, giving me super chats. I appreciate it here. We all are in this together, guys, just trying to gamble as best we can across an NBA landscape that wants to make it hard on us every day. So I appreciate you guys being here along for that journey. Hit the like button, subscribe before you go, and I will see and gamble responsibly too, even though it is always money time on this channel. Follow me at Chris Spags. Follow this channel at Splash Play Bets on YouTube, at Splash Play Pod on Twitter, and I will see you guys again soon. So enjoy your days. Good luck and let's pray for Ryan Rollins. All right. Bye, guys.